Yo, Nino,
Yebo,
Grand.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
I,
man.
I was just reading something about Steven Gerrard. His Rangers. He's killing it.
Really? Come on,
Yeah,
Stevie. Come
he's
on.
killing it.
Bro, if
He's
Steven
killing it.
Gerrard wins the league with the Rangers, he can come to Liverpool. I can be happy with that decision. So far, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not feeling the Steven Gerrard taking over in the future. I love him,
As
he's
is,
a legend, but I
and
can feel,
and and speaking of which, your Chelsea take is coming into fruition
bruh. You know
silently.
what it is, man?
I,
You know what it is?
uh,
There's too many players in that team. Chap, it's not that they don't. It's just that Manins, Pulisic is not in. Harvard is not in. Bro, it's too many. It's like it's the power of quantity. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
not the quality of the manager. The quantity. Manins. Chap, imagine having a team. Ziyech, Abraham, Pulisic, Mount, Harvard. It's like chapters two. Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante. They're like, bruh, now it's too much. Too many
yeah,
dope players. I can say if you go on FIFA, they've got more 80s than any team. When it comes to the amount of 80s in their squad, they probably
yeah.
have. I know it's a weird, way of quantifying it, but if you look
No,
at
but
it,
it
bruh,
makes sense. It makes sense. But we'll see. We'll see after the international break. But yeah, we want to do something different today.
it was lockdown.
Introduce.
It was lockdown. We all had time to sit down. Netflix got stacks of money. Y'all all got Netflix. Don't even lie. Whole lot of series, whole lot of movies, and we just thought, bruh, we watched the whole during lockdown, bro. We, bro, I can argue that we clocked Netflix. I could be wrong,
Yeah,
but I
this is
could.
actually for me. This is the first time I've actually understood Netflix. You know, I'm a bit late to the party. I'm way
Yeah.
late to the party. I'm a couple of years behind, but in just a few months, I, I've
There's
I've
so
dived
much
deep.
stuff, bro. There's
I've
so much
dived
stuff.
deep into it.
There's so much stuff. So listen, I was thinking maybe we do like a top five thing, top five series, mine and yours,
Okay.
right?
Do they have to be, Emma? Do they
No,
have to
no,
be
no.
in? Oh, okay.
It doesn't even have to
No
be
order.
no order, not even Netflix. There's a whole lot of stuff happening out there. HBO Max,
Okay.
other places. There's a whole lot of good series that came out, and there's one that's not from Netflix. That's in my five.
Okay.
There's
So
an
the
important one.
rules. Any TV show, nah?
Any, any.
Does it have to come out this year, or what if you caught up with it because of lockdown?
Let's say,
Is this a top binge list or
yeah,
personal top five?
that makes more sense. But I don't think we can go all the way back, bro. We can't say
Okay.
Breaking Bad. Come on now. Let's say
Okay. Okay. True.
recent, right? As
Yeah.
recent as possible. We can't be bringing
Okay.
up the goats. I can't be like X Files beats all the motherfuckers because it does.
Okay.
X Files is the goat. X Files is the
Yeah.
goat. Get your Game of Thrones out of here. X Files.
Emma, wait. What what if you got something recent
Yeah.
that got you to watch the series from the beginning?
That's there's another one in my list that is like that, and I think you know which one it is because we watched it
Okay,
together.
I must say, let's go.
But
Let's go.
but but its latest season came out this year, so I think it counts.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
pretty broad. Marcia, let's go.
All right. Okay. Can, no order or five, because I think if we do order, then there's pressure on us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we do
Yeah, there's too
random,
much pressure. In no
exactly.
order. In no order. All right.
No
In no
order,
order.
yeah. Okay. I'm gonna start with one that I think you know which one I'm talking about. I recently watched it this year for the first time. I thought it was always weird and just disgusting. Honestly, I thought it was disgusting. Rick and Morty. Let me tell you something about this show, right? I've watched it in bits and pieces for a long time. I thought it was disgusting, bro. Disgusting. And the episode I watched, that dick episode, when the father's heart is the same as like another alien's dick. Bruh, I was like, what is this crap, bro? What is this disgusting crap? But you kept telling me, bro, this show is dope, bordering OP, bordering gold level. So I'm like, fuck it, let me give it a chance. Let me give it a chance. And I really enjoyed it. I think it was super creative. I liked its kind of scientific aspects, and it's amazing, man. Very funny.
Oh, so Ima, so this is the series where you watched it from the latest season that got you to watch the whole thing in its entirety.
No, what happened was it was lockdown, right? Remember when lockdown started? So I had never watched it, right? I'd never given it a chance. Not in order, right? I'd only watched it randomly, right? So I thought, let me start from season 1, work my way up, and it's dope, bro. It's dope. I don't like it. So I was wrong.
What would you rate it? Because sometimes we do have we do have guilty pleasures, because I think on this list I will have something I really liked, but I don't think I'll rate it. I'll give it an OP rating. I'll still be honest about it. So what rating do you give Rick and Morty? The entire, since you binged season 1 to 5, you gotta give it an overall rating.
An overall. Well, the latest season. Okay. How should we rate it? 1 to 5 for just random words.
Let's give it a 1 to 10.
A 1
Easy
to 10,
stuff.
right? A 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 9, bro. Like the whole show, it's a 9. It's a 9. There are some episodes that lag. There are some characters I don't like. For example, the fake Obama character.
Episode, when those heads have to sing.
Yeah, I think it was in like maybe 1 or 2. The one when the heads are singing. The one when he wants Rick and Morty to help him with stupid crap, like.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that character. I wasn't a fan of his episodes. The head singing episode wasn't that funny. But OP episodes, that planet, that was with Rick and Morty. What? Unity,
Yes.
the Unity episode. That's one of the best episodes of any show I've ever watched.
Yeah, Rick and Morty has too many gems of too many episodes. In a series, they can provide, in 10 episodes, they can give you 5 OP episodes.
Yeah.
And that's a task in itself. Okay, let me give you my number 5, no?
Yeah.
So a lot of people have been telling me, yo, go watch Vikings. And I've always caught people watching Vikings. And I've always told myself, yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll get to it. I'll watch it. And then eventually I was like, let me watch episode 1 of this thing. And if episode 1 doesn't catch me, I'm never going to watch it. I watched episode 1 and I'm like, no, man, holy shit, I've watched episode 1 and this was so dope when I watched it. I don't know what stopped me from continuing.
Yeah.
So I carried on up until season 5. Bro, I binged this thing in a week. Season 1 to season 5 in a week.
It's 5 seasons.
It was pretty crazy.
Jesus.
5 seasons, 10 episodes each. Yeah, 10 episodes each, very easy to digest, except for the last season where it's 20 episodes.
Jesus Christ.
Bro, there are time lapses there. Like people grow old and die and there are generations. It's dope. It's dope. It's not like a 5-year story. It's following the story of like Ragnar, a Viking, the most famous Viking.
Yeah.
And it's a nice parallel to a fantasy like Game of Thrones, right? Yeah. Game of Thrones is too fantasy-like because it's fake. But what's nice about Vikings, it has people that really existed. And what's really nice is it's a proper battle between pagan religion and Christianity. It's hectic. That war between them, It's hectic. So anyways, the thing was on History Channel. It was meant to be a History Channel show, and it was
Yeah,
so good. It was picked up for new seasons, and then it found its way on Netflix.
that's
So anyway,
yeah,
to cut a long story short, there's a rising TV star. The Ragnar, the guy from Vikings, is
yeah.
gonna be a rising star. He's got a main role in Raised by Wolves now,
Mm.
and he's gonna be that guy on TV. But
Oh,
anyways, let me give this thing a rating. I'll give it.
wait. Before you rate it, right? I just want to say one thing about it. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it because of the issue that everyone has that hasn't watched it. It looks like a cheap ass Game of Thrones.
Yes,
Do you
true.
would you blame the marketing? Because when you see them ads, it looks like a cheap ass Game of Thrones. I'm not trying to say it is that, but when you watch the
Yeah,
ads, is it a cheap ass Game of Thrones that's good, or is it something completely different?
I would say, it's something completely different because I never watched it because I thought it was a cheap ass Game of Thrones. I thought it was a knockoff
Yeah, me too, bro. I
of
would like it.
of it. I thought it was a knockoff. And when you watch it at first, it's like, yo, this is like a knockoff, but you realize it ain't Game of Thrones. It
Yeah,
ain't like the fantasy shit. It's something different.
yeah,
Um, and I think in the marketing, chap, what could they have done? Because bro, they were competing against Game of Thrones. They were always gonna lose that battle of
yeah. You're
marketing.
right. You're right.
Game of Thrones had dragons. This shit, I'll tell you right now, there's no dragons. There's
Yeah,
no monsters. It's
yeah,
real people. It's Vikings. It's pagan Vikings versus European Christians.
yeah. But I mean,
And
I know you're right about what could they've done, but the way you just explained to me that like generations it's like a Vikings dynasty like thing, right? Bro, they could
yeah,
have marketed that. That sounds dope. The way you explained that, that sounds cooler than Dragons to me. But I mean, you're right. Probably because Game of Thrones is the most popular thing. Yeah, bro, rated, bro. The
yeah.
series. Yeah.
Chap, I don't want to oversell it and then give it a weird rating. Nah? I'm gonna
Yeah.
give it, bro. It's got 5 seasons. And 3 of those seasons are OP. There's no, they are nines they are nines and tens.
Yeah.
But hey, there's 2 seasons there. If you really get deep into it, hey, it takes it down, man. So I will
Yeah.
give it, I want to say 7.5 out of 10. It
Ah.
could have had, I want to be, yeah, bro, I want to be real. I want to be real. I want to
Yeah.
give it an 8 out of 10, but I got to be real. It's a
Aware.
7.5 out of 10.
All right, man.
That's my number 5.
All right. Well, my number 4, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't know, maybe it might be in your list. The Boys. The Boys, specifically season 2. Season 1, listen, this goes into that list of, like, Vikings is from a while ago, right? I don't think the season 5 came out this year, right? This one is,
No, season 1 came out last year, I think.
oh, so it's recent,
Yeah,
Vikings.
super recent.
Oh, so that, like, The Boys is one of those recent ones too, especially season 2. And I want to specifically talk about season 2, right? Because I know we kind of talk about all the seasons, but I think The Boys is such a thing that we can talk about it season by season, right? Let me just put season 1 out the way. Season 1 gets a 9, clean 9. That crap was new. Homelander is, I want to give it a name. Godlike level speed. Shikai level character. Shikai. My anime boys are gonna know what I'm talking about. Mao levels. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. He's Mao levels. Homeland is probably one of my favorite characters in television in recent history. I love season 1. Another character I like is that publicist chick, the one I'm sure you know. Yeah, I forget her name.
The one with the red hair.
Yeah. She had a fringe at a point. Yeah, that one. She gets bullied this season. she gets bullied hard this season. But I love my girl. boys, man, I don't want to talk too long about it because probably you put it in this, maybe I don't know, but the second season wasn't as good as the first season for me. I thought I wouldn't like Stormfront because of the marketing. I was like, oh crap, I'm not gonna like this lady. I'm not gonna like her. Stormfront was probably one of the better aspects of this second season. I kind of, I kind of, I kind of ate myself a bit. I watched a video talking about the original Stillwell, the chick
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
that was the. I watched a kind of original comic book video on YouTube about the original character. It was a dude. They gender bended her for the series. And I won't
Yeah.
lie, man, that dude's story, I don't know, it's hitting. The comic book original guy hit me a little better. It actually made me look at Stillwell a little bit differently. But it was a good show. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna be quick about it. I told you this. I liked the deep and
A
uh,
Train.
A-Train aspect of the story. I know a lot of people probably didn't. I enjoyed it because I like that cult religious, like I like those storylines, and I don't like how it ended. I don't like how it ended. It could have been good if they didn't do something to someone. I was like, oh, like you barely introduced this person, and this person would have been super interesting in the third season. So
Oh yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah.
spoil.
And let's not get into
I'm not
spoilers
gonna
territory.
spoil,
Yeah.
but something did happen at the end, and yeah, that's the point. I would give this season, honestly, bro, like a 7 out of 10 too. But I do love it, so it kind of gets that boost. You know, it's like season one,
Yeah.
give it a little push. That's how it's at my fourth spot.
Wait, I got a question for you. How was that scene when Homelander's about to fry that SWAT team?
Oh, the scene when he's at the house looking for the kid.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
Imagine you one of those guys. You one of those guys in that moment.
I won't lie to you. That's probably one of the most one of the more dramatic performances of when he walks out that house, looking the way he does, bro. Homelander's the coach, bro. Like the guy's a Mao. He's a Mao, bro. He's a Mao.
Henry Cavill could learn a thing or two
I mean,
from I think.
you know
What's his name?
you know how I feel about soups. You know how I feel. Let's not get into that. That's another video. Maybe we'll do a video about the best super powered people out there one day. You know how I feel about Henry. Let's not bring it up here. Just give me your four. Give me your four. Give me your four.
My four is also very recent. I'm gonna go the anime route. I've watched a couple of animes on Netflix. I think about 3, and one is super new. So do check it out. This is like a shout out for anyone who didn't actually know this. But my OG anime is up, the first season, and I've been playing it in the background while I've been, doing housework or doing normal work or doing whatever. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is on Netflix. And at first, I was like, why am I watching Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, why? And then I just realized how OP it was. And then it made me fall in love with the entire franchise again. I found myself wanting to re-download Yu-Gi-Oh! On my phone or some version of the card game. I don't know how they just, and this is a super personal preference, but I do know a lot of people watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day.
Yeah.
You probably had a second chance to rewatch it when people used to save things on hard drives before like streaming services was like a thing.
Yeah.
And this is my first shot at Yu-Gi-Oh! On a streaming service. Normally I would have just downloaded this thing, so I wanted to check it out. The quality is dope. It's consistent. There's Japanese and the subtitles are consistent. So it's a different experience to what I used to watch it at. So this is a third rewatch, basically. And it's an OG. It's a staple of anime. And weirdly enough, it's like the Matrix. You always pick up something that you always missed. You yeah, especially with the game rules or some of the law. You'll understand the law a little bit better. So I'll give this Yu-Gi-Oh out of 10. You know, this rating will never change because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! First
Mm,
season, an 8 out of 10.
yeah,
If you've never watched Yu-Gi-Oh, you're gonna enjoy this. If you have, you're gonna understand why it's an 8 out of 10.
yeah, yeah.
So
One question though. The one on
yeah, yeah.
Netflix. Are they are they pointing with a gun or are they pointing with their fingers? With the one on Netflix. I think you know what I mean.
Oh
Is
yes, with Keith.
is the
I haven't got.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
you
I
know,
mean is
and I do.
what I mean
Is it
is
censored?
yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Is it the
It is
second
censored.
video or was it the one where they have like crazy messed up, you know,
It's censored Yu-Gi-Oh. It's censored Yu-Gi-Oh.
aware.
Yeah. I haven't seen. But all the symbols, all them scary symbols are still there. You know, it's
Yeah,
just the
yeah,
removal. What we're actually talking about here is Keith's gun and some of the thugs' guns
yeah.
and some sexual content. Like
With
cleavage and
my
stuff.
Valentine.
Yeah, with my it's. I wouldn't say it's heavily censored.
Mm,
I guess because most of the time I'm listening to the
aware,
to the battles.
aware.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my number four. That's my number four.
Okay, well, my number three, we both watched because we talked about this a lot. We both watched this Tom Dickin redneck gay crazy ass story called Tiger King that came out during the gosh darn lockdown. We both sat down and we watched our boy what's his name again? Joe
Joe
Exotic.
Exotic.
Joe Exotic do his thing, and crazy ride, man, crazy ride. This is a
What a
docu
crazy ride.
this is a docu series. Tiger King, Mayhem and Madness, crazy. Oh my god, we went. Oh my god, I went through this like in like 3 days. In 3 days, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. And the first day I watched it,
It could have been 2 days.
that's what I was about to say. The first day I watched it, I killed, let's say, 4 episodes, right? But
Hmm.
the other days, I kind of split it because I realized I don't want to waste it. I don't want to finish it too quick. I want to savor it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want to when you binging something too good, you don't want to kill it too soon. You kind of want to save. You want it to last, and I really wanted this one to last. But the first watch was like 3 episodes or 4 episodes, and I think I watched the second one with you, and we watched that twice.
Yeah.
Carol Baskin one. I don't know if it's episode 2, episode 3, but the Carol Baskin episode, the
I
one
think
where
it's episode 3.
episode 3, right? I think we even repeated that one because it was OP. Let me tell you, that episode, God tier, 10 out of 10. It's got no flaws. It's got no flaws. That episode. But there are some episodes, especially near the end, where things kind of slow down, especially when you're looking at his political, uh, uh, the political aspects of Joe Exotic's life. But then it picks up again at the end when who's that guy off the head, the sleazy guy, the one that comes in. Okay, you know what? Who's that guy? What's his name again? Oh crap. Okay, you know what?
His name
You
is Flashing, but the con man.
yeah,
The con man.
the con man. You got Camp Boy, young wife boy, hot maid boy. That guy, the guy that likes him young, the guy that likes him young. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But when that guy comes in, things pick up again. I love that show, man. I love that docu. You know, it doesn't have a lot of good rewatchability aspects, you know, because I tried to watch it again and it just didn't hit the same way, which I mean, fair enough. As I've already seen it, and it mostly relies on being risque and you know, kind of
Mhm.
being over the top. So that hits differently the second time. but still made me laugh. Still has great moments. There's still a lot of mystery involved of some of the storylines.
Mm.
Loved it. That's my number three. All in all, I'm gonna give it an 8. Let me say 8.5.
Out of 10.
Let me say 8.5.
8.5, yeah.
Let me say
Thing
8.5.
is that, and the thing about Tiger King, it really grabbed the attention of the whole world, bro. And
Yeah,
not, yeah, the whole world was, Tiger King was trending for a very long time. This year has been so weird. I actually, for some reason, thought Tiger King was last year. That's how
crazy. Yeah, I
that's
know
how
what you mean
crazy
though.
it is.
I know what you mean.
And the thing about rewatchability, ne, it's a documentary.
Yeah,
So documentaries are kind of hard to rewatch instead of like stories
I
to
won't lie
follow.
though. I've got two choices left, and there is a documentary that's called Hella Rewatchability. That's one of the two. So let
In
me
it.
let me
Oh,
say the
okay.
three. There is a docu that is hella rewatchable for me.
Hey, I hope it's not the docu I have in mind.
It could be because I watched it a
We'll
couple
see.
more
We'll see.
times.
Okay, so I'm on number 3, ne?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so my third one, I've given out a historical um, fantasy
yeah.
and an anime. I'm gonna give out a Western and then I'm gonna go back to live action. A Western cartoon, traditional American cartoon, Bojack Horseman.
Ah, yeah.
That's my number 3. I'm sorry if I took it away from you.
Yeah, no, it's
But
cool, it's cool, it's cool.
I have Bojack Horseman. I had watched the show a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and when it was on hiatus, going for its 4th and 5th season, I never caught up to it. And 2 years passed, and I kind of forgot the story, and I had to rewatch it again. So I was rewatching BoJack with you. I'm not sure if you had watched the first season or not,
No,
but
no, that was my first time, all in all.
uh, so I was just surprised at how bingeable it was.
Yeah,
BoJack, just a depressed alcoholic, has been in Hollywood. It's very satirical. It's got a different kind of humor. I think the humor is on. It's not on par with Rick and Morty, but it does require some intelligence to it. It's not your ordinary jokes. You have
yeah,
in some sense you have to be jaded in life to get some of the jokes. You have to have maybe felt some of, I don't know, the depressions that BoJack goes through. You kind of have
yeah.
to have that mind. If you're an upbeat person like Mr. Peanut Butter, this is not your type of show. It's too bleak. It's a very
Yeah,
bleak show that's wrapped in this cartoon world that seems really fun to live in. But hey, in real life, hey, people are going through the most in that show.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
If it was a, yeah. I could see it being a proper sitcom with human beings in it. It would be super dope, I think.
yeah. That would be
Uh,
amazing, actually. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
animal, they do play around with the animal aspect of it a lot, but I do see what
Yeah.
you mean. It would be, well, yeah, yeah, yeah. It would be okay.
Yeah. And in the show, Love BoJack, I would say he's my favorite character. Um, Alongside Princess Carolyn, they share that spot for two different reasons. It's like I can relate to the both of them. Their stories are the most compelling,
Mm,
and everyone around them has their own story, which is crazy. Man, it's a really well done show. A lot of people I feel sleep on it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people sleep on it, but the people who have watched it, hey, they have felt that existential dread that show like just projects out to you. So I'm gonna give BoJack. You know what? BoJack had an episode. BoJack Horseman had a couple of episodes. If I was watching them alone, I'd feel real emotion. So I'll give. And since it's a cartoon with 5 seasons,
yeah,
it did not overstay its welcome. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
yeah,
When it comes to comedic cartoons, American cartoons, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I don't see any cartoon on the market besides Archer trying to compete with that genre.
Yeah.
9 out of 10. That's it.
And listen, you talked about taking away. Honestly, this list is so hard because it's five that I probably wouldn't put it in the five. And really, I think Bojack is better than some of the shows I'm talking about. But like I said, it's like that personal thing, right? It's that personal, those personal feelings that get in the way. And no honesty, it is better. I would even argue probably like a lot better than, because like I told you when I watched it with you, bro, it does have those emotional beats. And you, bro, Mr. Peanut Butter for me, bro, that's my guy. I think I told you this. That's my guy, bro. I love that. I love that dog. I love that dog because he projects what a dog is. You know what I mean? Like I like what they did with him. I like what they did with him. That was your third, né?
Yeah. That was my third.
Damn, we went there quick, bro. I've got like 10 of them. I've got like 10 shows in my head. But I already made a decision. And bro, we talk sports a lot. We talk sports. We like sports. And this year I actually fell in love with a sport that I never thought I would. A sport that I always thought was stupid. Basketball. That up and down, yeah, you score, I score, you score, and let's see who scores the most at the end. I've never fought basketball. I've always liked simple sports like soccer. You know what I mean? I know cricket's not simple, but you know, like I don't know, man. I've always liked kind of just easy to follow sports where you kind of get the gist of it. Of basketball, like it's so complicated, the subs, this, that. Fell in love with it, and that's because of one show that happened this year, came out this year. The Last Dance, Michael Jordan doing his things, the Bulls, the two triple winning teams, the GOAT, the GOAT, the GOAT. I'll say it for you, LeBron stands, the GOAT, the GOAT, the GOAT, Michael Jordan doing his thing. Bro, that show, you know what? I've always liked Michael Jordan, the guy. I've never cared about basketball, but I've always liked the celebrity, Michael Jordan. Bro, I came out of this show thinking this is probably my favorite nigga. This guy has to be probably top 5 people I rate out there in the world. I know many people don't like him because of his attitude or what. That's what I love about him. Bro, that's a winner right there. That's a I don't care winner. I don't get what your little injury, nigga, I need you to play. F your injury. I need you to play. I need you to play. The way he's so competitive, the way he was so like the way he pushed people so aggressively and pushed the team so aggressively. Listen, you wouldn't want to be around him, right? Let's be real, right? If I'm rating him, you wouldn't want that type of teammate. But let me tell you, man, a guy with that talent, that drive, that ambition, he'll get you them championships. He'll get you them championships. You'll have to push yourself, but he'll get you them championships. Dennis Rodman, also featuring Scottie Pippen. Like that whole story of The Last Dance, that whole story with Phil Jackson, he's lost a year as a coach of the Bulls, the way they fell out of Jerry, the general manager, that whole arc, that whole story. I've probably watched it 3 times now. It's basically the series I've rewatched the most. I know it's a docu-series, but it's the one I've rewatched the most. And that's what I mean when I say some docu-series do have that rewatchability. The moments, the music, bro, I loved it. Honestly, let me not lie to you, bro. Some things, listen, I get it. 10 out of 10. What? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? 10 out of 10! 10 out of 10! It was so clean. It was so clean. There's not a single moment. And I know probably you wouldn't give the same rating other people. There was so many, from beginning to the end, I can watch it. I can watch it tonight and finish it tonight. And I wouldn't feel a thing. It's that good for me. That is my number two.
I guess, yeah, it's a sports documentary, so it is what it's a very niche genre. So a 10 out of 10 for that. I mean, I don't remember I don't remember the last time a sports documentary captivated the world like that. So
Yeah,
so the 10 out of 10 is not unjustifiable.
yeah,
The
yeah,
last
man.
the last, you know, the last sports media type of thing that came out was Ronaldo's movie.
Yeah, yeah,
And that wasn't so great. And then
yeah,
Usain Bolt's movie, and that wasn't so great either.
yeah.
So I guess, yeah. Another thing, my mind's all over the place. Apparently, the producer for The Last of Us, The Last of Us, The Last Dance,
So
wants,
that's another top five. The Last of Us,
yeah,
that's another top five.
the
Okay, yeah.
producer of The Last Dance wants to do the same type of documentary with guess who? None other than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh,
Have you
really?
heard that? Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, 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 really.
Yeah, he wants to
WWE, all access.
WWE. Yes.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yo, listen, I get it. Wrestling's fake. Keep your eye out for that. Keep your eye out for. I don't know that. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Listen, whoever's watching, keep your eye out for that. WWE is a little more interesting than you guys think. If they're gonna do that
Yeah.
behind the scenes, Stone Cold, with all the stuff that happened with him, and his feelings on all the stuff of the. Oh my god!
That, that might be an 11 out of 10.
Oh my goodness!
But I actually hope that deal falls. It doesn't fall through. I actually hope that happens.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'll be really excited about. Okay, so let me get to my number two. My number two is gonna be all encompassing. You know the word Netflix and chill. You watch Netflix and you chill. Sometimes you watch it by yourself, sometimes with your friend, sometimes with your chick. So this is one of those shows that you get to watch with your chick. And really, Netflix and chill, you know. Sex Education. So that's my number two show. It's currently got two seasons out. It's a British comedy drama show about pretty much what teenagers all go through, you know, going through puberty. There's no concept that is new on the show. It's basically watching Soul City. It's just very modern, you know, it has its comedic elements. It's easily digestible. The episodes are very short, I think they like 20 minutes. So you can actually binge it, you know, with your chick. There's some really nice characters there. With my favorite being the blonde chick that looks just like Robbie. And the thing about a show like Sex Education, I don't know any of these characters' names, but I know their stories. It's so easy to digest. I've put on the show numerous times with people on, and they just watch it. It's a fun time, you know. It suits everyone. The storylines in the episodes are very easy to follow. This kid is using his mom's knowledge about sex education to teach kids about sex education at school and basically get over their insecurities and teenage angst and teenage drama. And that is what sex education is. I want to say something, but it could be very controversial. I may have to Google some things before I actually say this. Yeah, so rather not say it.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that show, and one of my favorite aspects about it is the fact that Scully is in the show from the X-Files, getting a whole
Oh, yeah.
getting getting a whole lot of MILF vibes, bruh.
Yeah, she is.
Woo!
And let me tell you something. I watched that show 70% for her.
Yeah.
70% for her scenes.
She's a great character then.
She's a great character. She's very interesting. She's very funny. She's super weird as a mom. You wouldn't want a mom like this in a fictional world. So it kind of makes, you know, you kind of want to see what's actually going to happen with this kid if his mom is going to fuck up the kid or
Yeah.
it's very weird.
Yeah.
Her name is Gillian Anderson. Yeah. Yeah. Bro, she is top MILF in probably my number one MILF.
Bruh.
And then number two is probably
She got
Madam
that
Stillwell.
MILF action, bruh. She got that MILF action.
Yeah. So so that's the thing with sex education. A show like Sex Education is going to have like a lot of sexual references, and it's going to be very nice to the eye. The characters that they pick, the show's going to seduce you.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to do with all
Yeah.
its teenage elements. So I was seduced. I liked it, but I will give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's nothing wow. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. If it is, you find yourself wanting season 3. So that's my number 2 show, and I'm super excited to get to my number 1. So
Ooh,
I know what your number 1 is.
Yeah, I think you do. Listen, when we talk about GOAT shows, there's a few aspects that are integral. A few aspects that are integral. You gotta have a dope story, a base. It has to be simple enough to follow, but complicated enough to do things with. You gotta have characters. And some of them have to be OP. Listen, I've been saying this word. OP means overpowered. It means this thing is too much. And this show only has, except for maybe 1 or 2 characters, only has OP characters. When I watch something, there's a noise I make. Whenever I get that entertainment orgasm, there's a noise I make. Woo! And let me tell you something. I've never wooed as much as I have with any other show than my number 1. And that is Ozark. Ozark.
Your title screen.
My guy. Listen. Do you know when you meet up with a show that you have no business caring about? You see a guy like Jason Bateman, funny as hell, Arrested Development, Horrible Bosses, you know what I mean? The Gift, one of my favorite movies, Hancock. You know, it's a dope actor, right? It's a dope actor, decent enough. When you see he produced it and directed it, like it's probably like a mid-table series, nice, easy to watch, probably got comedy aspect. No comedy, my guy. No looseness. No, let's just have fun. Nah, nigga. Nah. Serious crap from beginning to the end. When it starts, you're taking it seriously. When it ends, you're taking it seriously. When it comes to series, there's a few over the generations that I put in that OP position. X-Files, Breaking Bad, right? Just a few. Fargo, a few that I put in that. The Wire, that I put in that, like, just, you know, Game of Thrones in the early times. Classic, untouchable, and the fact that it's not getting the love it deserves is a crime. That show is yet to disappoint me. It flatters with disappointing me. It flatters with it. It says, you know what? We're going to start sucking. We're going to start sucking just for you. Because we don't want you to think we're so overpowered. We want you to think we're normal. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're gonna start sucking? I mean, it makes sense. You guys have been good. And they never do. They go, psych. We are OP, my guy. We are never gonna suck. From season 1 to bro, I can't wait for season 5, bro. I can't
wait myself.
Freaking wait, bro. Bro.
Are you gonna binge it?
I'm gonna.
Or you gonna?
Well, it's Netflix, right? So it's gonna come all at once, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I might not be able to stop. Listen, it's like Ozark is like ice cream, right? You put it in front of you. Are you gonna finish it? Or you're gonna finish it? You are. It is that good. One of my girl, bro. My girl, Wendy. that was one of those aspects when it flattened to suck because they were doing funny stuff with her. They were doing funny stuff with her, and I was like, this is gonna fall apart. This is gonna fall apart. And somehow they made me rate her more than Jason Bateman's character, who is the most OP character this year in television, streaming, anything. Ozark. If you haven't watched it, actually good. Good. You don't deserve it. I don't care. If you haven't watched it, I don't care. It's too good for you. It's too good for you. For those who have watched it, I know. That's my number one. That's my number one.
Yeah, I had quite a few favorite characters in that show. I love it. I love it. I actually want to give it a rating before you give it a rating, but now I won't do that. You know what's weird? That Jason Bateman is like a typecast character there, but he stands out. He's different. He's like the same character. I realized this after reading a comment like way after the show.
Yeah.
That he's still Jason Bateman in the show, but the show is so fleshed out that you forget Jason Bateman. You just think, yo, this
Marty.
This is Marty.
It's Marty.
This is Marty. He makes you forget that he's Jason, and he's pretty much acting the same way he was in Hancock in a less comedic way, or in Arrested Development or Horrible Bosses.
Yeah.
You know, Jason Bateman is Jason.
He's like that kind of a slightly overbearing, thinking too much, contemplative type character.
Like
Everything he's ever played, he's always.
Bro, imagine watching a Vin Diesel movie and Vin Diesel convincing you that you aren't watching Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
You know, that would be, that's hard to do. That's hard to break out of to break out of a typecast. It's very hard to do that. And he does it well. You know, I'm waiting to see what his son on the show is gonna do. I'm waiting. I can't wait. I actually can't wait to see what every single character is gonna do.
Yeah.
Every character has an arc. That's super interesting.
Yeah.
There are no side characters that are. There's no loose ends.
Yeah.
There's no loose ends.
Yeah.
All loose ends are taken care of. And I'll leave it at that.
Don't forget Rufe's brother. Forget his name. He's still in a weird situation himself. There's a lot of funny situations. There's a lot of funny.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my number one. Okay, let me rate it. Sorry, let me rate it. Okay, I'm not gonna. I know I gave Lost Dance 10 out of 10, but Nino explained it perfectly. Lost Dance is a niche, right? Meaning, Ozark, it's not a niche. You've seen that type of show before. You've seen that type of storyline within movies, within other medium too. So I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a 10 out of 10. I don't. You know what? 8.5. But if I'm being realistic, 8. 8.5 for me, judging by all other mediums like that. But if I'm being realistic, 8. But like I said, for a show this year during lockdown, it was a 10 out of 10 experience watching it. Watching it was a 10 out of 10 experience. All right, that's a couple of ratings in one. But I hope that makes sense.
An 8. I will go with the 8.5.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to give it since I've watched it as well, from my side, I want to give it a 9. I think maybe you're downplaying it because you gave the 10 out of 10 to.
No, it's not really that. It's just that there are other kind of like Pulp Fiction has the same arc where someone finds himself in a situation with, let's say, a criminal enterprise, and they have to work for, you know what I mean? That storyline isn't new, and I think it's being done better other times, right? It's like The Last Dance. I'm comparing it to other sports documentaries. They don't touch it. But if I'm comparing Ozark to other things like it, you know, I think there are a few that are a little better out there. Movies, all mediums, not just animes, not just a series. 8.5, bro. If I'm being honest, but a 9, I'm not hating on that, bro. Like that's That's a rating I can live with too, bro. I love the fucking show. It's my number one. So I love it, bro. I love it.
Yeah. It's time for my number one. My number one was very easy. You know, when we came up with this topic, um, I wasn't confused. I knew what my number one was. I was just trying to figure out what my other four were gonna be.
Yeah.
And my number one, let me introduce it. If you liked karate movies, you're gonna like this. If you were a fan of those type of Karate Kid, Three Ninjas, all those karate flicks, you're gonna like this. So basically, my number one is Cobra Kai. Now, how I came across Cobra Kai, I have no idea. I just heard Cobra Kai, and in my head, I knew, yo, that name sounds familiar, but I don't know where I've heard it before. And it's cool, Cobra Kai. This must be some cool shit. And then I check it out, and then I check out the first episode, and then I'm like, this is a continuation of Karate Kid. Like 30 years later, the main character in Karate Kid, Danny, what was his name?
Yeah, with Danny. What is his name?
Yeah, when he beats Johnny, when he beats his main rival.
Yeah.
Basically, the story picks up from his main rival 30 years later.
Yeah.
Right, and these people are just living their lives normally. So I thought, okay, this is quite an interesting concept. Let me see. And then as I watched it, it was like watching Stranger Things for the first time. The nostalgia it was hitting me with. I was just never ready for that type of nostalgia. And basically, Cobra Kai is the dojo that belonged to John Kreese. It was the villain's dojo that were warring against Umiyagi.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, you're watching the villain's story 30 years later. And they have to build themselves up and rise from the ashes and get to the top of the karate world. And guess who the villain is? It's Daniel. So it's like, oh, yo. And it paints a super like realistic painting of everything. It's not like you're watching a movie. At some points you're like, yo, what am I watching here? Am I watching like a movie? Am I watching this is like a movie, but it's cut down into episodes. It's like they made a long ass movie and cut it up into episodes. Season 1 was hella dope. I give season 1 a 10 out of 10 and season 2 a 9 out of 10, just to get to the quick ratings. But the series in itself, the nostalgia factor, they use scenes from Karate Kid that never made it into the movie. Yeah. So it seems like new, you get to see different angles, different perspectives. And it's a nice flip on the villains and protagonists are all dependent on perspective. It's all a matter of perspective. We think Danny was being a good guy, right? But in a different perspective, when you watch Cobra Kai, you get to see how Danny was actually a villain to Johnny, the bad guy, how he was a thorn on his side. And that whole dynamic carries throughout the season. It's it was unique to me at the time.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a franchise flip perspectives and make you root for the bad guys technically. It's got some really endearing moments. Like, it's karate, so there's a whole lot of karate philosophies in it.
Yeah.
And a whole lot, and you're dealing with teenagers as well. So it's wholesome. That's the best word to describe this thing. It's wholesome. So
you've kind of been hitting me up, telling me to catch it, and I've always kind of been like, Karate Kid. You know what it is, right? And I'm actually happy. Right? The actors are Ralph Macchio and William Rabka. Zabka, sorry, not Zabka, Zabka.
Yeah.
I actually am happy for them because Karate Kid was a phenomenon when I was young, and those actors never really did much.
Yeah.
They never really did much after it. In fact, Karate Kid 3, which I think had Hilary Swank ended up killing it in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the original characters, kind
Yeah.
of just disappeared.
That's why the show is weird, because it presents them as if they're doing ordinary shit in their life. Daniel is
Yeah.
a car salesman. He's a car
Oh,
salesman. And then you're
shit.
like, oh shit, you never made it, dude. You were just like,
And that's in
you
real
just,
life for the actor, too. That's in real life.
you know, yeah, yeah. And the fact that they're reprising their roles is pretty dope as
That's
well.
dope, man. You
Same
don't see that a
actors.
lot. You don't see
Yeah,
that a
yeah,
lot. You don't see that a lot.
yeah, yeah. So it's a dope series, man. It's a dope series.
I'll catch it, bro. I won't lie to you. You've convinced me. Putting it at your number one.
And when it comes to,
can I say something quickly? There were
Yeah.
so many shows I thought you were going to say before Cobra Kai. In my mind, because I was trying to kind of gauge. First of all, I wanted to make sure I take Ozark from you. That's why I went first. I'm like, this nigga ain't getting Ozark. He ain't getting that. That's my baby. That's my baby.
Yeah.
Then I thought about the shows. A couple of them, I don't want to, like Final Space, there's a couple of shows that you checked out that we talked about. That's a shocker. I'm going to check it out now. So, you've convinced me. That's probably the best way to convince me to check it out than when you were telling me to check it out. Because I was like, come on, Cobra Kai.
Yeah, the guy who plays Johnny Williams Akbar, he's got some amazing scenes, bro. And one thing I'm going to say, Nat, there are a lot of characters in it. There's a lot of teenagers. And there's a few transformations in the first season that are really interesting to watch. Like, some of them are generic, training montages, seeing a punk-ass kid becoming OP and stuff. Though, you're dealing with a karate show for kids. Those transformations are dope. They do it in such a way, and the philosophies that are there. If you love politics, my man, you're gonna realize there's a lot of political contrast, or to what it's very similar to what was happening in America. Like the left versus right. It translates itself into Cobra Kai, the two dojos.
That's interesting. Okay.
Different philosophies.
And you know how much I love American politics, bro. You just convinced me a little harder now. You've just put in another aspect I wasn't ready for. Okay.
I don't want to oversell it, but I had a woo moment that brought me to tears.
Yeah.
Excitement.
Oh, shit.
And I was kind of pissed because it was like 2 a.m. I had to go sleep. I ended up watching an episode till 3 a.m. and watching another episode till 4. That's how it was.
Damn.
And I was fucked for the morning. But yeah, that's my number one show, man. That's it.
All right, man. All right. This has been fun.
Top five series.
It's a couple of them. Actually, it's a good thing we didn't clash with our lists. You know what I mean? Repeat something. That's enough shows for y'all. If y'all haven't checked out some of those shows, I don't think.
A full.
Yeah.
That's a full 10. A full 10 shows for you.
That's a 10. That's a 10. So that's a lot of shows. And I promise you, hearing Nino's and what I can vouch for my ones, you are at least going to be entertained. Some of them are going to make you cry. Some of them are going to hit you with other emotions. But at the very least, none of those shows are not entertaining. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, man. Let's close it off. First one of these, man. It's been a while since we've talked about something that isn't.
Now the channel needs it. The channel needs it.
Yeah, the channel needs it, man. Let's do it again, man.
Oh yeah.
All
Cheers,
right.
guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, y'all. Subscribe, do all that stuff. Like, comment, do all that stuff. It's still a channel. But this was fun.
Yeah.
Adios.